Hey everybody, it's Jason. So I'm here with a video that's been requested a couple different times, and it's an overview of the Black Label line. So I have all 13 of the candles here in front of me, and I've burned all of them at least once, so I felt like I could give you a pretty good idea of my thoughts on them. So in case you're interested in the Black Label line, hopefully this will help you out. So I've divided these into 3 different categories. Ones that I think are good, but probably wouldn't burn them every day. Ones that I think are really great, but aren't on my favorites list. And then ones that are just downright amazing, and you need to run out and get them now. So, for the Black Label line, I'm going to go ahead and say my nose is not really easily offended by many scents. And I feel like even though there are some of these that I don't particularly care for a lot, I still put them in the good category because they're so well blended, and the notes are in. And I just think that they're just like really just good scents, even if they don't necessarily appeal to my nose. So yeah, so we'll start off with those. And I also want to talk about candle storage for just a minute. I keep these candles, just like the regular 8 ounces, in a basket. And you know, when I'm looking for a scent, it's just kind of hard because the name of it's on the bottom, and so you know it's got the little label that's got the name or whatever of it, and unless you store them upside down, that doesn't really help out much. So what I did is I took a Sharpie and I wrote on the lid like what the scent is, and so that way, you know, you can see this from a mile away, and so that way, you know, it just helps out for that. The Black Labels, I did the same thing too. They just have I used a metallic silver Sharpie instead of a regular Sharpie, and so yeah, so I just thought, you know, if you're looking for a way to make it easier for you to find your candles, if you've got, you know, some kind of storage unit that isn't ideal for picking out names, or if you've got multiple that look the same, that's an idea. So anyway, I think I've rambled enough. Let's get into the Black Label review. So the first one I'm going to do is Tuxedo. And I just talked about this one in my weekly scent recap, and basically it's like a men's cologne type scent. And I would say it's a younger man's cologne. It's a little bit kind of spicy, so I'd almost lean towards like an Old Spice type cologne. So it's like a middle-aged man's cologne, is what I would say for Tuxedo. Next is Brandy Alexander, and this is in the same vein as Tuxedo in that it's a cologne scent, but this is a much older man's cologne. It's got more woody notes than Tuxedo has, and it's not as spicy. So if you're looking for a cologne scent that's more on like the woody side, as opposed to like kind of an Old Spice type cologne, then this is the way to go. But yeah, this one to me is definitely like an older man's cologne. It's probably like a comfort scent to some people because it does kind of remind me of like a grandfather. And there's almost a hint of tobacco in here. Like it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke by any means, but at the same time it almost has like kind of a tobacco background note that kind of sticks in there. So yeah, that's Brandy Alexander. Okay, next is Earthquake, and this one is just straight up kitchen spices. It doesn't smell like bakery to me at all. It's more of the earthy vein, so it's almost like if you stuck your nose in like a jar of nutmeg or a jar of like allspice or something and sniffed it. That'd be about what this is. It almost reminds me of something cooking on like the kitchen stove with a bunch of spices in it. So yeah, like I said, not a bakery scent, but definitely a spicy one nonetheless. So if you're a fan of spice, then definitely check out Earthquake. Okay, and the last one in this group is Alabama Slamma. And this one smells predominantly of hickory to me, but it does have a little bit of a bakery note in it as well. And so this one's very nostalgic for me. I think I talked about on here before about how this reminds me of my dad when I was growing up. He used to smoke like hams in like a smoker with hickory chips, and so that's what this reminds me of, is, you know, kind of growing up with that kind of hickory smell. So if you like hickory, or you're kind of into like that kind of nostalgic type scent, I guess, then definitely check out Alabama Slamma. But it is definitely heavier on the woody notes. I would definitely put this in the earthy category. It's not bakery to my nose. There are some bakery notes in it, but it's mostly that woody hickory. Okay, moving on to the ones that I think are great, but aren't in my favorites. First is Bonsai. And this one smells almost like a sweet dough to me. Like, maybe like donuts before you bake them, I guess. Yeah, something like that. Like, it's like just a really sweet slightly yeasty dough. So it's nice. It's, yeah, just kind of a sweet dough scent. Right, next is Salty Dog, and I talked about this one recently too, and it smells like juicy fruit. Juicy fruit and spice. So the description says that it's supposed to be like a fall type blend with maybe some apple and some spices and different things. I don't really get the apple, but like I said, it smells like juicy fruit and some spices, so it's really nice. Next is Harvey Wallbanger. And this one's really good, and the only reason that it's in the great category and not the next one up is the throw on it is not the strongest of the black labels. It does have a pretty light throw, but it's a really, really nice maple scent. And it's also got some other sweetness in it as well, so it almost reminds me of kind of like maple candy or something like that, maybe maple fudge. So it's like a really sweet candy maple type scent. I don't really get bakery notes in it. It's more of like that candy side of maple. The next one is Mojito. And this one smells like lemon lime, like hard candy, which is nice. I really like the citrus in it. The throw is pretty good with this one. And, I mean, I just think it's like a great kind of summer type scent because it's got those citrus notes and it's almost like candy. So it's just a really sweet. So if you're looking for like a candy type scent, I would say, if you're looking for a hard candy scent, go for Mojito. If you're looking for more like a nougaty type candy, then maybe Bonsai or Harvey Wallbanger is the way to go. Okay, and the last one in this category is Moulin Rouge. And this one, the scent description is forever long, but I get mostly like a cake type note with a little bit of spice and some slight woody notes in the background. So it's really interesting. It almost reminds me of maybe if you cooked like a spice cake on like a campfire and then, you know, iced it. That's almost what it's like. It's really cool smelling. But the bakery is definitely the predominant notes in here. The description lists a whole bunch of other stuff that's in here too. I think this one may have the longest description out of any scent that Victoria offers. But yeah, I really like Moulin Rouge, so there you go. And the last four that I have, I put in the amazing category. These are ones that are really knocked my socks off out of this line. So first one that I have is Godfather. And this one, I think, is one of the best fall scents that you can have. It's very spicy, but it also has pumpkin in it. And it's just a really, really great fall scent. So I haven't burned this one in a while. I've had it since January, I think. But the weather's just been too warm for this one because, like I said, it's the perfect fall scent. So I mostly get clove as the predominant spice, but then it also has a little bit of allspice in it as well. And maybe a hint of cinnamon, but clove is definitely the strongest one in Godfather, whereas in Earthquake, nutmeg is the strongest. So, okay, the next one is Singapore Sling, and this one jumped into my favorites quickly because it is what lemon pound cake should smell like. It is the yummiest lemon bakery scent I have ever smelled, ever. And I just love Singapore Sling so much. I know a lot of people, this gets a lot of love on Facebook and on the message board for good reason. It's amazing. I think it says it has lemon poppy seed muffin, but to me, it smells like a lemon poppy seed muffin with like a glaze on top. It is so good. I love Singapore Sling. Okay, the next one is 007. And this one, it's hard for me to pick out individual notes, but it's the epitome of spa scents to me. Like, this is one that you'd light up, take a bath. It's so great. It's not super strong like a lot of the ocean air clean scents tend to be. This is really soft. It's not musky or anything at all. I mean, it's just a really good bathroom spa scent. It's kind of a little bit sweet, almost like a sweet floral. but it doesn't have any kind of perfume note quality to it really at all. It's just, like I said, it's just a really great bathroom scent. It's really hard for me to describe. I think this one's the most complex out of all of them. At least with like Moulin Rouge, even though it has a ton of notes, I can pick out certain notes in it. This one, I can't really pick out notes. It's just really hard to describe, but it's amazing, amazing. And the last one is Manhattan. And this one is almost like a woman's perfume. It's got a little bit of musk in it. It's got a slight powder note to it, but it's just a really sophisticated perfume. It almost runs in the same vein as like Chantilly Lace for me, but this one is so much better. So if you love Chantilly Lace, give Manhattan a try because it will blow you away. It's so good. I love Manhattan. These four all, you know, vied for one of my favorites, but Manhattan I think I've burned the most of. So yes, that was the Black Label line. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.